Welcome to NFL Nexus. Man, CJ Stroud's rookie season, it was something else, right? Pure magic. But then the playoffs hit, and that magic, it just kind of fizzled out. Why? Well, you can't build a kingdom without a fortress. And the walls around Stroud just crumbled when it mattered most. So today, we're digging into the Texans' massive offseason project, building that fortress. And we're going to zero in on the one huge signing that is the keystone to this whole thing. A move designed to turn a promising team into a real contender. Let's get into it.
Okay, so to really get why the Texans went on this huge spending spree, we gotta go back to the moment that dream season just ended. You know, the NFL playoffs, they're a whole different beast. It's not the regular season anymore. It's a gauntlet. And every single weakness you have, it gets put under a microscope, targeted, and totally exposed. And for the Texans, boy, did they have one weakness that got put on full display, giving them a painful but very clear roadmap for what they had to do. So here it is. This is the big puzzle the front office had to solve. Because when you look at that roster from last year, one thing is crystal clear. That defense, it was ready for a championship run. I mean, you got Will Anderson Jr. just wrecking shop, D'Amico Ryans calling amazing plays. That side of the ball could hang with anybody in the league. But they didn't. Their season got cut short. So if the defense was good to go, what was the dead weight holding the whole team back?
Yep, plain and simple. It was the offense. It totally let the team down. Despite all the incredible things CJ Stroud was doing, the unit as a whole just fell apart against those top-tier playoff defenses. They couldn't run the ball, they couldn't stay on the field, and the biggest sin of all, they could not protect their guy. The pocket was just collapsing all the time, forcing Stroud to run for his life. The front office saw it clear as day. You just don't get a talent like Stroud and then just throw him to the wolves. Something had to change, and fast. All right, so they've got this huge, blinking red light of a problem. What do? Do they go bargain shopping, put a little Band-Aid on it? Nope. They went big game hunting. They went out to make a statement, to find a cornerstone piece for that offensive line. This wasn't just about filling a spot. This was firing the first major shot of the offseason to build that fortress. And that big statement piece? None other than former Cleveland Browns guard Wyatt Teller. Now, if you've been watching football, especially the AFC North, you know exactly who this is. This isn't just some guy. Teller is a mauler, a physical, tone-setting dude who just moves people against their will. He was the foundational block, the big fish they absolutely had to land to change the whole identity of this offense. And guess what? They got him. And let's be real about the kind of player they're getting. Teller brings a resume, a pedigree, that this O-line was seriously missing. We're talking about a 3-time Pro Bowler. 3! That means for 3 different seasons, the guy's lining up across from him, the coach is scheming against him, everybody said, yep, that guy is one of the absolute best at what he does. This isn't just a good player, folks. This is an elite, proven talent. And you know, to get a player like that, you've got to open up the checkbook. And the Texans did. They signed him to a 2-year deal, $16 million base, but it can go all the way up to $23 million with incentives. Look, a contract like that, it's not just about the money. It's a statement. It's the front office telling the entire league we are all in on protecting our quarterback. Okay, but this is where it gets really interesting, right? Because no player is perfect, especially not on the O-line. Every big signing is a trade-off. So let's look past the Pro Bowls and the big contract. What kind of player are the Texans really getting in Wyatt Teller? What's he great at? And where are the potential problems? Well, when you look at the reports from the folks who watched him every single week in Cleveland, it's almost like you're getting 2 different guys. When they're running the ball, he is a monster, a dominant, physical mauler who just shoves defenders out of the way and creates huge running lanes. He's going to completely change their run game. But when it's time to pass block, the analysis says he's, well, kind of below average. And for a team with a QB like Stroud, you might think, wait a minute, that's a huge red flag. But hold on, it's all part of a bigger plan. And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. It's the classic one man's trash is another man's treasure situation. The Browns, they wanted to get younger on the line, so an expensive vet like Teller just didn't fit their plans anymore. But the Texans, they were desperate to get a power running game going. Why? Because a good run game forces defenses to play honest, it takes a ton of pressure off a young QB, and this is the big one, it sets up that deadly play-action pass that Stroud is so good at. It was just a perfect fit. The perfect guy at the perfect time. But here's the thing. The Wyatt Teller signing didn't happen in a bubble. He was the keystone, yeah,
but you need the whole arch to make it work. He was just one piece, a really, really important piece, of a much bigger construction project. The Texans weren't just plugging a hole. They were doing a complete top-to-bottom renovation of their entire front five.
And here it is, the brand new fortress for CJ Stroud. Let's really look at this, because every spot tells a story. At left tackle, protecting his blind side, you've still got Ariante Ursary. Young guy, tons of talent, just needs to clean up the penalties. Next to him, the new guy, Wyatt Teller at left guard, bringing all that power. At center, you've got a battle brewing between the incumbent Jake Andrews and another new signing, Evan Brown, which is awesome. Competition makes everyone better. Then at right guard, you've got the reliable Ed Ingram back on a new deal. And then the other massive signing, Braden Smith at right tackle, another proven vet from the Colts. This isn't just moving some guys around. It's a completely new philosophy.
Okay, so when you put it all together, you see the problem from the playoffs, you see the player they brought in to fix it, and you see the whole new unit they built around him. What's the final call? What grade does this move get when you look at the whole picture? Well, the analysis from A to Z Sports, they took a look at all of it and they did not hold back. They gave this move a very, very clear grade. A solid A. Not an A-, not a B+, a straight-up A. This is what you call a home run. The Texans saw their biggest weakness, they targeted the exact right kind of player to fix it, and they went out and got him. From a team-building standpoint, you really can't do it much better than that. And look, that A grade isn't just about Wyatt Teller. It's about the ripple effect. First, he immediately gives Stroud a real run game to lean on, something they desperately needed. And yeah, maybe Teller himself isn't an elite pass blocker, but he's part of a whole new veteran group that just raises the talent level of the entire line. A stronger unit makes everybody's job easier. So the front office, they've done their part. They built the wall. The message is loud and clear. The excuses are gone. Now it's time to go win. Which brings us to the big, ultimate question, doesn't it? After all this money, all this strategy, have the Texans fixed their biggest problem? Was this offensive line overhaul the final piece of the puzzle? Did they just go from being a fun, surprise playoff team to a legitimate, honest-to-goodness Super Bowl contender? So what do you think? Are the Texans for real now? Are they ready to take on the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the rest of the AFC's best? Let me know what you think down in the comments. I really want to hear your take. And hey, if you like this breakdown, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button for NFL Nexus and give this explainer a like. It really helps the channel out. And make sure you see the next one. And one last thing before we head out, if you're looking for another way to support the channel, or hey, maybe you just need something to do during a stressful fourth quarter, check out our coloring books. They're perfect for the kids, grandkids, or even for you. Seriously. The link's down in the description, or you can just scan the QR code on the screen right now. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.